Hiya, I'm in Ballinacaro, County Sligo, and I was staying in an Airbnb and I was looking for somewhere to have breakfast. So I rang this local B&B and they said, yeah, we don't normally do it, but come on along. Have a look at the place that I've arrived at.
So this is the breakfast room, and this is your host, Roderick Percival of Temple House. During your breakfast, Roderick will tell you stories about his ancestors.
Jane Percival, she died of famine fever in 1847, and she had 10 children.
How did she get famine fever?
Well, she and her daughters were actually out feeding tenants and locals during the famine. And she must have been bitten or something like that, typhus or whatever it was. And I think to some extent that's why in the 1920s this house was not burnt down, thanks to her. Her eldest in 1858 had to sell the property because we were bankrupt. Unhappy times followed for 4 years, and then the third son bought it back. And he was making a minor fortune in Hong Kong, Shanghai. He came back and he repurchased it, finished his dream home in 1864, and sadly died 2 years later in 1866, aged 44 actually. But he was an amazing character because he brought tenants back from all over the world, Boston, Liverpool, all parts of Ireland, things like that.
These are people who had been evicted?
Who'd been evicted, yes, exactly. But those are really interesting because he repurchased the house, knocked half the house down. Then I recall my grandfather saying, big house, no money, thank you very much, because 2 years after completing it, as I said, he died. But we're still here, which is not bad.
What's it like living in a place that is also a place that people come and visit and stay? Does that feel intrusive?
Well, we're very lucky. I mean, I suppose I would describe this as a sort of a privilege and burden. And I think the trick is to try and consider it more of a privilege than burden. Sometimes it is a challenge, but we enjoy it. And then in terms of, having tourists and guests and whatever else we're doing, that's really, that keeps the roof on the house. We've actually restored quite a lot of the roof. You just wouldn't know it. It's sort of dead money in terms of, your experience. But from us, what we like to do is look at what we've achieved rather than what we've got to do. But what we've done is we've actually created an apartment in the house with separate heating system, all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
But we're on site, but out of sight. It works very well. Have a look out here. I'll just tell you a little bit. Out here as well. Water sports over there, wild wet adventures on the far side. Knights Templar Castle from about 1200. In actual fact, the history goes way back because you've got a ring fort at the far end of the lake. You've got crannogs, a couple of crannogs as well.
Temple House is a venue for weddings as well as shooting parties. One of the sitting rooms is called the gun room. The clue is in the fireplace. B&B here is between 150 and €200 per night. The breakfast was lovely, but to tell you the truth, I would have eaten cornflakes for a chance to look around.
We also run the farm, and that's actually what I trained to do. So I thought I'd be farming, but came back and realised actually I'd be much better off burning bacon for people than chatting to people, which actually I rather enjoy.